Good morning, my fellow traders. Hope you all having an awesome weekend. So in the weekend's video, I try to give you some good lessons that might help you to avoid some trading mistakes. Now, trading is not just about taking your trades randomly. Sometime I find a conditions in the market, I don't go for it because sometime I don't find it a very best setup. When you're placing your hard-earned money, you need to make sure that you are looking at all the aspects of that trade because you are placing your live money there. And my trading methods are very simple. We have one support, one resistance, 50 EMA, 20 EMA. If the market is trading above 50 EMA, what are we looking at? We are looking to buy the market. Till when? Till the price gets to the major structure level, from where we are looking for the counter trades. Now, when the market starts to push up from the level of recent support and it started a new trend, it sometime give you the breathers from the major structure levels. Now, taking a counter trades doesn't mean you are looking for full reversal. Means you are looking for the good reward to risk ratio. At least 100 pip moves I'm expecting from these zones. When the move is finished, you come out and then ride along with the trend. This concept is very simple, but the only thing you can't make money is because you are not disciplined. You are not ready to wait for the setup to form. You just want to be in the trade. You look at the nice uptrend, nice candles, you place your trade. You don't even know where to put your stop loss to take profit. So these are the areas from where we can expect a breather. Then market might decide to push up and continue to push up to the next level, from where we are looking for another breather. That is a very simple concept. Now, in the first part, we're going to discuss some trades I've taken this week, some trades that didn't play out, some zones that played out nicely, some trades I've mentioned live in the live session. If you're really watching my analysis carefully, you will see how important it is to look for these conditions, and you can make money with these tips I'm giving you almost every other day. You might not follow my setups, but at least you know some major zones from where we are expecting a nice breathers. Even if you just know the zones, you know that we are ready for a sell-off. A good example of natural gas is there, which I'm going to get to in a very short while. So in the first part, we're going to discuss all that the entries I've placed, the entries I've mentioned to the members, to the YouTube audience. We're going to talk about commodities like corn, like copper, palladium, platinum, some other soft commodities, some forex pairs, and in that process, I'm going to also give you some tips what to expect from there. I'm going to show you the stop losses hit, but overall, how I managed to stay consistently profitable. Every single weekend video, I show you my personal trades and the trades that was set live in the live session that can't be altered because everything is recorded. Now, since we are on this page, we had a very good example of two trades. Trade number one, which is my pullback entry bullish. Trade number two, which is my counter trade. Right when the market was opened, I sent this trade alert to my members. Now, I've also mentioned one tip in this trade alert. As you can see right here, similar pattern has found on EURUSD. So I've entered this trade, and with that, I've also entered EURUSD trade. Now you see this trade has a very nice condition. We had a nice breakout above 50 EMA. We have a new high. We had a pullback, follows bullish engulfer. With that, we had a bullish cross. Now that goes with my analysis. Now there is no need for any sort of hesitation for me to enter this trade. I took this trade, and every time I see this condition, I will take this trade. But unfortunately, that hit my stop loss. Now, that was the first trade of this week. That could be a heartbreaker for you if you have first trade of the week that was a losing trade. But that is the beauty of a profitable trader. For you, for the profitable trader, for the professional traders, that is just a part of process. The market opens, you took a trade, it didn't play out, that is fine. But you found one more condition. Now, exactly with that, I've mentioned EURUSD. What do you see here? Exact same condition, nice trending market, pullback, new high. We had a nice bullish engulfer, but this trade played out. Now, that nicely hit my take profit. So we are now picking up the loss we have just made. Now, after this take profit was hit, I have my eyes on this double top pattern, and I knew that the price is now inside this zone. That is why I did not want to go for a bigger target, because I knew that it is a level from where we can expect another move down, because this zone was already sent to the members a couple of weeks ago. As you can see right here, this zone was sent to the members. That was on 2nd of this month, a couple of weeks ago, but already had the zone there, and that is why I knew that if the price forms any sort of condition from my zone, I'm going to take my sell trades. I didn't see any sort of condition here. That is why I waited, even though the price pushed down. Now, we had a double top formed with this 382 bearish candle. That is something I was really interested in. Now, if you are my student, you know I take up very big targets from these zones. At least I go more than 1 to 1, and as you can see, that was 1.4 to 1, and it is 125 pips trade for me. Now, if you ask me, Omar, how can we believe you that you have actually mentioned about this trade? Now, let me show you the clip where the condition was just forming. It was not even there, but I was prepared for this entry. That is how the traders look for these conditions, with precise conditions. Now, let me show you the clip from the live session, then we can continue from there. EURUSD nicely pushed up, and remember, EURUSD just formed a double top pattern. So we had a nice buy trade, we had a double top right here, and if that closed as a bearish engulfer, we have a sell signal right here. Sorry, bearish engulfer 382 candle. I would go around 90 pips. So that's going to be big trade. So keep an eye on this one. We had nice divergence here, double top happened here, major zone. That is a good level. Perfect. So you see how nicely the condition formed, the 382 candle formed, and that is where I've entered this trade. Now, this was clearly mentioned to my live sessions member, to my Priority Plus members, and if you have taken this trade, you have made some money. And that, as you can see, hit nicely 1.4 to 1. That was my fixed target, and then after hitting my target, the price pushed back up. It is very important to cut your profits. You see how nicely we took a buy trade, and then we have gone counter trade, and we made money here. Now, at the start of the video, I've said that we have one support, one resistance, and in between we are taking buy trades with conditions. Now, there is no condition all the way here, but I found one condition right here which I've taken, and that nicely hit my target. So one trade here, one trade here, one trade here. That is exactly in front of you. Now, if you know these rules, there is no need to get scared of, and you can still make money in the market. And there are people out there who are making money, but the only mistake you guys do, you don't follow your rules. Then we have one more trade, which I mentioned to the live session. Now, every trade is not a winner, which is USD-CHF. Now, this trade, we had a condition, which is my bearish engulfing pattern right here, but that didn't play out. For me, that was a stop loss hit. That is fine. We are not taking any revenge trades, right? Move ahead. Your stop loss is hit. You are out. You have already made money in previous two trades. So don't worry. Look for the next entry condition. Afterwards, I found one more condition, which is a very good example of patience and very good example of not getting panic. That is why every trade has a lesson there. This trade has a lesson that we need to be patient, and we are not getting panic, or we are not jumping on in the next trade just to recover the loss. Let me show you one more trade that was sent to the members as well, which is EURUAUD. Now, for this trade, I've already sent notification to the members. You might have received that notification on Telegram as well, if you guys follow me on Telegram, that I've sent an update for this trade. An update was that the take profit one was hit, and now we are looking to manage this trade by moving your stop loss to break even, or if you want to exit this trade, it is totally your own choice. Now, this trade started really well, and same condition I've just shown you, the previous trade, EURUSD, we had a nice uptrend, nice engulfer. I've entered my trade here. Now, at the start of this trade, my first take profit was exactly like this, 1 to 1. It almost hit my take profit and then quickly pushes down, almost about to hit my stop loss. Now, that is the beauty of placing a right amount of stop loss. That is something I teach to my students. Now, looking at this stop loss, I knew that it is also a structure level, that we have some sort of support where we have a chance the price might push up. That is why I was not getting panicked by this fall. Some of the traders who are not really experienced enough, they might have cut their trade, and then they might have cursed themselves that why have they done this decision. Now, that is a lesson to learn. If that happens, no need to get panicked. Stay in the trade, or don't look at the trades once you place your trades. If you look at your trades once you place your trades, you just get anxious, get panic, and you might come out early. Now, with that, I also knew that we have a 20 EMS support that is above my stop loss. So these are some conditions I was looking at when I've taken this trade and when the market was pushing down. I did a quick analysis. Yes, there are some times when you can come out early when you know that this trade has totally gone wrong. But I have done my analysis when the price was pushing down. Yes, 50 EMS support was there. That could push the market up, and exactly that has happened. Just about to hit my stop loss, and as you can see how much money I've made here. That is 148 pips. I've managed my trade after if you move your stop loss to break even once your take profit 1 was hit, it never even came back down to your stop loss. In that case, you would have run risk free and you would have made a nice 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. So you see a good example of this trade I've taken that was sent to the members. 3 trade alerts sent to the members, 1 hit stop loss, and with that EURUSD was sent as a tip that was also hit as a take profit. And with that, I've also sent 1 more trade just on Friday and right here, which is an opposite of bullish. Now don't take this trade. I'm not sure how it's gonna go. It might open above in gap, might open down in gap, hitting the take profit, but that was 1 more trade sent to the members, as you can see right here. And I've also mentioned that it's going to be risky trade because there was some major news event were coming up, but this trade quickly pushed down and we'll see how this goes. And it is, yes, a risky trade. I'm not sure if it's going to hit my take profit or not, but I would like to manage this trade till this recent low. So, but let's see how this opens when the market opens. So these are the 3 trade alerts I've sent to the members, and trade alerts are not for you to use it as a signals. If you do that, then trust me guys, the results will be bad. I want to send you these trade alerts so that you can look at these patterns, look at the confluences and look for the same condition. For example, I want to show you one trade which is USDJPY. Now exactly the few trades I've shown you, what do you see here? Nice push up, break above, pull back, swing low, bullish engulfer. One of the entry I've teach to my students, and that nicely hit my take profit. That could have been managed till the resistance right up there, but for me, I've just chose to go 1-to-1 for this trade. And as you can see, that also hit my take profit. Now, this was not sent as an alert, but if you're really learning out of my trades, then that was a very good confluence. Price was above 50 EMA on daily as well, and on 4 hour, that forms a condition for me, and that nicely pushed up. Now, with that, I want to show you the trade I've not taken. This trade I've not taken, I was not comfortable because that is more of the range mode market. If that happens right after the break of this low, that would be a valid entry, even though that trade might have played out. And with that, I want to show you an amazing trade, which is right. Now that gave me an insane pips of 141 pips, 1.4-to-1 reward to risk ratio. Now you see an example of opposite trade. Now look at the EURUSD trade, which is right here. This is something I want to teach you. EURUSD trade, we were in an uptrend all the way from here, and we were waiting for the price to get to my upper level. Right here. It forms a double top, and we have taken this 1.4-to-1 reward to risk ratio. Now here we had double top pattern, but if you look here we had an aggressive entry. Exact same opposite. All the way from here in a downtrend, it pushes this level and it forms what? That is not an alien for you. It forms a nice aggressive candle, an aggressive entry that I teach to my students. And for this trade, because the targets were so big, 100 pips for the smaller target, I managed my trade, then I've managed the other trade till 1.4-to-1 reward to risk ratio. Now that is not something I'm just showing you here, that the trade had just happened and after that I'm showing you. Now I do and I say everything with full transparency. This was the zone that I prepared my members to look at. If the price hit this zone and forms an aggressive condition, that is fine to take this trade. So let me show you the clip where I've mentioned about this zone. Then you will see how we take our trades once the conditions forms. GBPNZD is trading below, and we are still looking at the level below for the possible counter trades. The trend continuation trades to 2.2148 goes to 2.2247. Once the price reaches my zone, I will look for my engulfers or double bottom for my entry condition. For now, we are just looking at the zone, not looking for pullback entry bearish. Perfect. So no ifs, no buts. I've said that if there is a condition at the zone, we are gonna take the trade. What do we have? Now, this was not sent as an alert, but if you were my member from last couple of months, I sent couple of times an aggressive entries, double tops, double bottom entries. If you are my recent members, recently I've not sent aggressive or double tops, but I've been sending pullback entries. But here, if you are my member in the live session, that was clearly mentioned. Now, everything is in front of you. If you are not scared of taking this trade, if you are taking your trades with a better risk, not investing everything in single trade. There is no need to get scared of anything. Worst thing will be it will hit your stop loss. But if you are under your risk capital, then once you enter the trade, you are just waiting for the trade to either hit your stop loss or your take profits. A very good example here of taking a counter trend trades. Now you see with conditions how easily you can make money. No messy indicators, just two zones and just the EMAs, and just discipline and patience and waiting. Now, a very good example of the trade right here. Now, right here, we had a nice pullback entry. Now, I knew that this entry could be very risky. This was not sent as an alert. The reason I've said that this entry could be risky because it is a very choppy price action, but the condition meets. So I decided to go for it with very low risk, and as expected, this trade for me did not play out. Now, immediately, what happens? The price broke below 50 EMA, nicely broke below the previous structure right here. Now, instead of me to take a revenge trade, I took an entry again, but with conditions. I was bullish here. Price made a new high. We had a pullback, another high, another pullback. Engulfer did not play out. That broke below the 50 EMA, and the rule is below 50 EMA, we are not buying. What it forms another bearish engulfer. So 31 pips was my stop loss here, and 31 pips was my take profit. Right here, a good example of taking your trades with the right conditions. I was not panicking, but instead I was looking for another condition. That is fine, a part of trade, but as you can see, overall, how nicely we have made amazing amount of pips in the other trades. So this stop loss did not hurt me. So good example of taking an opposite trade when the conditions changes. Now I want to mention this exotic pair, which is USDSGD. Now this pair has a decent amount of spread, so that is why I do take these trades sometime. As you can see right here, I took this trade, a pullback entry bearish. Now a very good example here. I was looking at the zone here and pullback entry bearish form here, and the price came down. Now one of the students asked me that if that is a double bottom. Now if you don't know the rules, you wouldn't be able to spot these entries. Now I've checked that, to double check that. As you can see the screenshot, that is how I do mentorship for my students. If I find something that is valid, I give my opinion. Yeah, that looks good to me, or that looks excellent to me, or that looks weak to me. So that is something for you to decide, but I give my opinion. For me, that was a very good zone, a big shoot up, and as you can see how nicely it pushed up around 90 pips, and that would be enough to go 1.4 to 1 reward to risk ratio target. So a counter trade, a double bottom trade, a very good example of entering from the zones, and that is how I teach my students. Now I also want to talk about dollar index. Now here, I was bearish for dollar index all the way when the price was falling down till this level. Now in the live session, I've clearly mentioned that price is forming a double bottom and it can affect commodities majorly, especially gold and silver. And if the bullish candle forms here, it will likely push up, and that will weaken the gold and silver, which was likely. But I don't say the things there. Let me show you the clip where I've actually mentioned about stay alert. I've warned my members that expect a push down out of gold and silver because we are getting this condition. So that is something we do for the technical analysis, and especially if you are trading gold and silver, we need to look at dollar index, and if you are trading dollar pairs as well. So let's see the clip, and then I'm going to come back to show how it affected gold and silver. Okay, dollar index is also forming a bullish signal right here. So that is very important. If we have an engulfer at dollar index, means dollar is going to push up from here. So that is why the metal is going to push down and get weaker. So technically we're going to see a drop from silver and gold soon. Sell condition, exit with a good risk to reward ratio profits, and then we'll see the next move. But overall from here we can see a good drop. Nice one. You see how perfect the technical goes. Lots of big things happening in the world, but that shouldn't distract us to change any sort of strategies. You keep looking for your strategies. As long as you have a stop loss there is no need to get scared of. And with that, if you look here, how nicely the gold falls from here. Not only that, we were already prepared to take an entry from this zone on 1 hour time frame. Since this zone was not a strongest level, I have clearly mentioned that to my members, and let me show you the zone report I've sent to the members so that you can see how perfectly we look for the conditions, every single thing in the market. Just don't go and just place every single random trades there. Right here, this report was in front of you that was sent to the members last week when the price was just inside. So I've clearly mentioned price is inside the structure resistance, and we have lots of rejection from this zone. And I've also mentioned that I do anticipate a potential pullback from this area if we have a bearish condition on lower time frames, such as H4 mean on 4 hour and on 1 hour. And you must wait for the confirmation before you take an entry. And what do we have? On 4 hour, do you see any entries? Yes, we do have this 382 candle, but that is not a very strongest entry, especially for gold. But just scroll down on 1 hour. What do you learn from here? First top, second top with 382 candle. Now, a very good example of having your rules there. Now, keep an eye and just have the sketch in your mind of this trade. Now, I want to take you back to this trade, which is EURUSD. And that happens on 4 hour. What do you see here? First top, second top with a pin bar. A very good example of double top here, learning from this entry that was clearly mentioned in the live session. And with that, we have exact same example here on gold, but this happened on 1 hour. Now that is a lots of patience because you might be cutting out this trade with the fear. Like I said, once I take my trade, if my risk is managed, I don't need to get scared of if the price hit my stop loss. But immediately from here, how nicely that hit my take profit, and that is 1-to-1 for gold. I keep 1-to-1. That is nice 3000 pips move for me here for gold, and we were already prepared for this zone like I've just shown you in the picture. So we were prepared for the zones, we were prepared for the condition that happens, we take our trades, and that is a reward we got after it hit our take profit. Now it could have gone to 1.4-to-1 if you like to manage your trades. That would have hit your take profit easily as well. So very good example of taking the trade. With that, I've also sent a zone of silver right here to look for your conditions. This zone right in front of you, and we do have this bearish engulfer right here, and that massively pushed down. And with that, I've also sent a zone for uranium, which I don't normally personally trade. And as you can see, after price hit this level above from a couple of weeks, we've been waiting for this level, and right here, how nicely that also fallen down. Now that is something we call patience. We're only waiting for the price to get here. With that, we have bearish engulfer. Again, I've not taken this trade, but that was something sent to the members in case you are interested for this commodity, and that is right in front of you. The rules are same, the conditions you need to learn once you know the condition. This might look valid to you, but trust me guys, sometimes these are invalid entries. That is why I have rules for all the entries, and I have rules how you can place your stops and targets. So with that, I've sent that as well, and that also plays out from my zone, and that nicely fallen down. The level below right here, just to give you a tip here, since you're watching my weekends video, now this is the level I'm expecting a price to come down to. If it breaks below 50 EMA, I will sell this market till this level, but with entry conditions. Now, we had a nice take profit hit in USCOCOA. That was a long trade, and as you can see, we entered right here, and that took us 16 days. Now, that is something we call patience. Now, it is not something I'm just saying you. I've been telling you about this trade from last weekend's video, from the other videos, but let me show you the video. Let me show the clip from the last weekend's video where I've mentioned about this trade that it might hit my stop loss. Let's see how it goes. It goes almost near to my stop loss. A very good example how nicely it pushes down, hitting the bigger targets. That is insane amount of pips here. So let's see the clip from the last video, then we can connect from there. With USCOCOA now, this is also something mentioned in the live session, and we are in this trade from last couple of weeks. So it was barely hit my stop loss, but then pushes back down. That is what we call patience and not getting panic. So let's see, it is still active, and to be on a safe side, let's keep it like this to these lows. So keep an eye here. Let's see how this goes. My target looks like this, and take your trades on your own risk. Nice one. So as you can see, with the patience and without getting panic, if you're not checking your trades again and again, it goes up, it pushes down, it goes back up near to your stop loss, it pushes down, it goes back up, and then eventually it pushes down. It goes back up again here, You are fearful again. That is a roller coaster ride in trading, but that is something you need to train your mind not to do that again and again. Again, take it as a business. If you take it as a business, then you'll be there. For the trading, you need to set your rules. You need to wake up 7 o'clock in the morning if you can. Look for the London session trades. Look for an opportunities there. You find a good trade, you place your trade. If you find no trades, you might find a potential setup there. Keep an eye on the next candle close. If the next candle closes at 10 a.m. London time, you know that is your entry. Set your entries. Come back, look for another entry condition. If you find 2 or 3 entries, you are set for the day. That is how I personally take my trade. And with that, let me mention that this was the trade that was mentioned in my live session as well. Now, this was mentioned that it is not a very strongest zone. And as you can see, that didn't play out. That was a nice double bottom A, but again, that didn't play out as well. I've not taken this trade because I don't trade coffee, but because the members want me to do analysis, it is something that didn't play out. We had a nice entry here, we had a nice breakout entry here, we had a nice pullback entry here, but this time it didn't play out. That is something we call trading. Let's see how this goes next week. We had lots of commodities like wheat, we had corn, we had sugar, and these are the commodities I'm looking at, and that is something I'm going to send it to my members this week to look for what to expect next. Now let's talk about this trade, which is one index, which is UK 100. How nicely it fallen down from this double top pattern. Again, that was not my personal trade. That is something I've done analysis for the students in the live session. So let's see the clip from the live session where I mentioned about this trade. I've been sending these zones to the members from last couple of weeks. Right, as you can see, UK 100 index that was sent to the members on 1st of this month. And we were only looking for the counter trades from this zone. And what do you see here? Nice double top entry condition. And first, let's see the clip and then we can take it from there. UK 100 is still in the level of resistance. That is the only level of resistance we have. And if you look here on a daily, yeah, that is a good level. On weekly, there is a valid pin bar. So that shows the bearish pressure, and we might see a drop from here, a strong level at this point. And we have a double top here as well. If that closes the bearish engulfer, we can expect 180 a drop from here. Or keep a stop loss here, 1.4 to 1 reward to risk ratio. Perfect. What a big move we have got here out of this double top pattern. I've shown you lots of examples this week. We have EURUSD, double top trade. We had gold, double top trade. We had UK 100 double top trade, and exactly with the same pattern, it pushes down. All you need to do is to know how to mark these zones correctly. And that is something, again, I teach my students with exact rules of marking these zones. I don't mark my zone maybe right here, maybe right here. It might be someone else's who marked these zones here. But for me, the zone was exactly here, and that perfectly plays out. If you are interested to learn the full system, then guys, go for the course where I teach you everything from the basics to the advanced level. And that's just a little investment for you, not something very big where you are ready to lose thousands of pounds or dollars in the market without knowing anything, but you are not ready to learn and get a right education. And results are right in front of you. At least you're going to learn the system. Then maybe you can make your own system and become better in time and become profitable in time. That is exact same examples in front of you right here. Finally, I want to show you NATGAS. I've been sending these zones to my members from last 2 to 3 weeks. And I've been showing you these zones for the YouTube audience as well. For all 4 platforms, MCX and Capital.com, that plays out. And I've clearly mentioned in my videos, wherever I hit my zone, that will be the entry conditions. And if you look here on Capital.com, it forms a bearish engulfer, and with the 280R stop loss and 280R take profit, because we were entering from the zone, that is why I've set 280R for the stop loss, just to avoid this liquidity sweep. And on Ovanda, as you can see right here, now I've not taken this entry just to show you the right entry, because for me, I was waiting for the price to get to this zone. But again, that was clearly mentioned that if we have an oversold with bearish engulfer, that will be your entry condition. And that exactly has happened. The right pattern is here on Ovana, in case my student asked me lots of questions, Oma, why you have taken this trade. But one more pattern, which is right here, the hanging man pattern, that is the exhaustion candle, that is a pin bar right here. And with that, it hit my zone as well. Now, that has been mentioned in so many videos that keep an eye on this zone, and I've been mentioning about the head and shoulder bearish pattern as well. That is something I'm going to talk about in the analysis part. But you see the power of marking the right zone, and with the breakout, we were bullish all the way from here till here, bearish counter trade from here till till here, and let's see what happens next in the analysis part. But that is something we call taking your trades with conditions. Gold played out. The zone of the gold played out. Sugar played out as well. That was sent last week, which is right here. That played out. Now we are still waiting for the price for wheat, for the other commodities like platinum, palladium. That plays out as well. Talking about palladium, that did not play out. That would be risky as well due to short pullback and due to not a very strong momentum below 50 EMA. So that is something I show you as well. Platinum played out as well. That was sent to the members last week as well. So I hope you got a lesson from that. The lesson is in a nutshell. Two zones, nothing messy. Above 50 EMA, look for the pullback entry bullish. Below 50 EMA, look for the pullback entry bearish. Look for the counter trades zone from the major zones. When the price hits your zone like support, buy from here. Counter trades. In that case, you don't need to look for the EMAs if you are below 50 EMA or 20 EMA. The reason of counter trades, we are going against the trend. Look for the counter trades zones bearish if the price hits your resistance level. A good example is right here. It hit your resistance level, but it forms the conditions with a divergence that is a lots of confluences and 125 pips here, 147 pips for the GBPUSD. Pullback entries are there as well. And that is something you need to set your rules in front of you. And my strategies are applicable on all the markets, talking about crypto, talking about stock market, anything. But you need to have a tested pair strategy. Once you have that, you are good for it. Now, talking about my AI bot, this week it triggers few signals. I want to mention few things about that. Now here, it triggers a JP225 sell signal. I'm not sure how it's going to go. Now this instrument I don't use for the spot because I mainly designed that for major pairs like GBPUSD, USDJPY, some crypto, major cryptos. But you can feel free to check the others. Now here, after this big momentum candle, right here, instead of taking entry here, I would take my entry here. But because this bot detects the volume, means we have a volume, a bearish volume momentum towards the downside, and in the nutshell eventually it might fall from it. That is what the bot tells us. So we have a signal triggers here. For EURUSD, it triggers right here. That looks good to me because it forms a bullish candle, and I would enter here instead of entering right here and keep my take profit a little bit below and stop loss a little bit below as well. So that is a signal that triggers on EURUSD here as well. And GBPUSD, like I said, I use this bot mainly for GBPUSD, USDJPY, gold. And here, as you can see, it triggers a signal right here for the short that nicely hit the take profit here as well. And USDJPY that hit last week and which is right here, that perfectly pushed up as well. Some entries on gold, it triggers. Let me show that here. A couple of weeks ago, right here, short entry, that nicely played out. Long entry, nicely played out. That didn't play out. But overall, it's been giving nice signals for gold. Now, the trading view is not accepting my script to do invite only. Now, I don't care and I don't stop myself just because someone won't let me publish my script. I don't know what rules they have there, but I've made a separate video how you can use this bot with full transparency, giving this bot free. I'm not charging anything. I'm just asking you to join one of my partner broker and just have this bot as an extra conference because it picks up the volume. Once it gives you a signal, it goes in that direction anyway. If not the same day, maybe a couple of days later. That is something for you. I will leave it for you to decide to tweak that bot. That is why I'm going to give you a full code. I don't care if TradingView is not letting me to put it here. I will give the full script to you. But the only thing I want you to do, join the partner broker and take the script. If you misuse this bot, for example, if you join the partner broker just for the sake of bot, then you will not get an up-to-date script. You know, it needs changes, it needs upgrades, and if you do that, I will not give you an upgraded script, an improved script that can help you next. So I'm going to do that hopefully this week. In the meanwhile, just prepare your account. If you wish to, go to moneymarkets.uk, click on broker section, and you will see all these brokers. You will see one more broker here, which is a very good broker, multi-regulated in 16 different countries. You will see one more broker right here soon. But for now, we have these brokers right here. All of them are good. Tested myself. Feel free to check them out. If you have any questions, get in touch with them personally. And once you join them with minimum 1K of deposit. Now, I'm only asking 1K of deposit. That is very less to get this bot. People have done 5K because I don't care about making money from your trading. I just want to give you something that might help you in your trading with an extra confidence. And because I'm giving a full script, I will be giving that to my students as well. And the new students, if you are someone who is looking to join my full course, you will get the script as well. So let's wrap this first part of the video and let's jump on to the analysis of NATGAS, gold, silver, crude oil, starting with natural gas. Now, before I continue with my technical analysis, it is very important at this stage to talk a bit about fundamentals because of Middle East conflict. Now, few things, key factors you need to put in your mind if you are trading commodities. Now, Trump just launched a strike on Iran. So that means US has now involved in the war. And just a couple of minutes ago, Trump said that it might go for another attack if Iran won't stop. Means there are still risk of conflict between US as well, and US might involve in this war. Now, looking at those factors, how does it affect the commodities? It will majorly and mainly affect two commodities. First, as I'm going to do NATGAS technical analysis, first, it will not affect natural gas as much, but it will affect gas to a moderate level, to a medium level, but in a bullish side, because Iran is not a top exporter of natural gas and it mainly doesn't affect the gas prices due to fear of war escalations. And any retaliation from Iran, it will not affect gas much unless and until it hit a pipelines of gas. Now, after that, I'm going to get to gold analysis. Now, it is very important. Now, technically, gold is bearish short term, but bullish long term, looking at a daily time frame. So, it will affect gold heavily. The gold can be strongly bullish because typically in this type of situation, the traders sees gold as a safe haven and they start putting money in gold. And with the US direct strike on Iran, you might see gold to push and continue to push back up towards the upside as investors will go towards the gold as a safe haven. Now, third one, we have crude oil. Crude oil will be affected greatly and prices are likely to rise as well because Iran is a major producer of oil and also a member of OPEC. And because of this intervention, the supply will disrupt and that might causes a price of crude oil will get expensive and it might turn strongly bullish. And it's a very highly likely chance that crude oil might open heavily in gap up. So there is a bit of fundamentals you need to consider when you are taking your trades. But again, it will be safe if you look for the conditions as well with fundamentals as well and maybe reduce your risk if your conditions are going against the fundamentals. For example, gold is bullish long term. Fundamentally, it is bullish as well. Oil is bullish long term. And if you look at fundamentals, it's bullish. So if there is a bullish condition, I will be comfortable to take this trade. NATGAS is fine. I don't worry much about natural gas. Hope that's clear as well. So first, let's see the clip from a last video so that we can connect the dots from there. So as price is now at the level of support, with that we are overbought in the RSI. Now it is very important. The next candle must form as a bearish engulfing candle. If that happens, let's say if you have a bearish engulfer right here, I will go short using one target. First target ATR, second target will be bigger than the ATR. I'll keep my stop loss above the wick around ATR and then I will go 1 to 1 and 1.4 to 1 you can manage your trade. Still 1.2 to 1 is preferable for the smaller target as well. If you want to go a little bit above 1 to 1. So that is something I'm expecting. Now on NEMEX, the zone is a bit higher, so don't get confused if the price forms a bearish engulfer right here. In that case, we are overbought. I have one more strategy which I used for my trading. In that case, we can still expect a deep pullback that is enough to hit your targets. Since we are overbought, this engulfer will likely to give you a good and deep pullback which you can capture and exit your trade after 1 to 2 ATR target is hit. Perfect. Everything was in front of you. If you have taken the trade, which you have, I've got good messages from the members, from the YouTube audience that they have taken this trade. I'm glad you have made money right here. If you are looking here on capital.com, if you are from capital.com audience, then we have this zone there and that was mentioned to you. And even though that was not a clear signal, but again, for me, that was not an entry, but you were already prepared to enter here. We had this hanging man pattern. We have this bearish engulfer right here. Few pips below would be my entry, one of the strategy I teach to my students. And that nicely would have hit your take profit. Everything was mentioned. You can't say that was not told to you. This zone was clearly mentioned to you in my last video, right in front of you. That has been shown to you multiple times in every single video. Go back and check all my videos. I've been telling you that look at this level to sell this market, and I've been repeating that we are only buying till we get to this level. That is something we have got, and perfect move we had out of that. If you are from MCX audience, make sure you hit the like button. You have seen a nice fall from the zone I've been clearly mentioning from last couple of weeks. I need to see your likes and I need to see your comments. If you don't do that, I think I'm gonna remove MCX from my analysis. Just joking, but make sure you hit a like button there so that you receive this daily analysis as well. Now, what are we expecting from here? Now, just to show you on Ovanda, we have this RSI overbought. We have this bearish engulfer again, guys, 280 are above, 280 are below, and that also nicely hit the take profit. Again, I've not taken this trade. I've just placed this just to see how it plays out. But if you have taken it, then you have made money. For me on Ovanda, I was looking at this level. If you're still looking at this level, don't worry, you are still with me. But if you have taken the trade from capital.com, then that is good. Now, what to expect from here? Now, I'm going to start with NEMIX. Now, if you look here on NEMIX, we are still within this triangle, within this upper channel pattern. There is a highly likely chance the price can still drop and then push back. Now, I want to give you some conditions to look at. Now, we are still at 50 EMA. We need to see how the price opens above or below. Now, looking at this crazy situation out there, we might see an open above. If it drops, and if it drops below 50 EMA, all you need to have this trend line just to stretch a bit. And if the price hit this trend line, forms engulfer or double bottom A, that will be an aggressive entry from this trend line. The reason I'm saying aggressive entry, because trading from this channel is always aggressive from the upper channel or from the lower channel, because sometimes it gives a fake out and then it falls. But looking at strong rejections multiple times, that is something I'm looking at. But not to forget, we are above 50 EMA on daily. We are on 50 EMA on 4 hour. But looking at this bearish candle, swing high bearish candle, we might see some drop and then push back up. Now, overall, we are bullish, but this drop will be very big drop on smaller time frame. So that is why if you're considering to take an entries, if you have broken and closed below 50 EMA, I'll be looking for the short-term bearish trades below 50 EMA till here and look for my buy trades from this trend line. Now, that is one condition to look at. You can also look for your entries on 1 hour as we are broken below 50 EMA. If the price forms bearish engulfer below 50 EMA, with that we have a crosshair as well. That will be your sell signal using 1 to 2 ATR for your targets till here. So that is something on smaller time frame as well. But let's say the price opens above in gap. And let's say the price opens here. In that case, you are simply waiting till the price get to this level. Now the correction has been done right here. It might pushes back up, continue to push up, and once the price hit this level, I've shown you the screenshot. I'm going to show you that screenshot to you again. I'm still actively looking at these zones on Ovanda and even on capital.com, which I'm going to get to in a short while. Now here, if the price, let's say, pushes back up, which is still likely, I will still simply look for bearish engulfer or double top pin bars or a 382 candle is something for the aggressive entry. Look for evening star patterns. If you don't know what evening star pattern is, the video is in my playlist. Feel free to check that out. Look for hanging man. All these bearish conditions from these zones we are looking at if the price continue to push up. So very simple. If you're broken below 50 EMA, expect a fall to this trend line. Buy from here with condition. If it opens above, wait till the price hit this level. From where we are looking for bearish engulfers or double top entry conditions. Simply, that is all we are looking at. New high has been made, and looking at that, I'm expecting another push up. Again, guys, if you look for the conditions, you are not getting yourself confused. I've shown you multiple trades. All of them happens with conditions. And it is very simple. Now, if you talk about capital.com. Now on capital.com, simply I'll be looking for another retest of this level, which is my double top pattern. I will mark my zone from the wick till the body of this candle right here, which has the highest wick, and I will make this solid so that I can see and have a better visuals. If the price pulls back up and we have one more rejection with red candles, bearish engulfers, 382 candles, that will be a stronger signal. With that, if we have a divergence in the RSI with the double top, I've shown you 3 double top trades, gold, EURUSD, and one more trade that I forgot. Just feel free to rewind and watch that. Exact same conditions I'm looking at. That is something we call a power of conditions. If you have double top, we are selling from here. That is why there's still a chance the price will pull back and reject from here, and we're going to go short. I'm only going to go for sell trades if we are broken below 50 EMA, then we are falling to this trend line again, from where we can see another bounce back to this zone. So let's see how it opens. We are still above 50 EMA, and there's still a very likely chance the price will push up to this level, from where we are looking for the bearish trades. Keep an eye on these zones, and same goes with Ovanda. Keep an eye on the zone above. I've shown you. In the meanwhile, on Ovanda, we have a good room. If the price forms red and green in Golfer, I'm going to simply buy this market again and go long 1 to 2 ATR till here. Broken above this high, look for another pullback. And in Golfer, once we are here, we are looking to sell this market. So very simple. These are the conditions I'm looking at for my trades. For MCX audience, simply look for your double top all the way from here and look for your short trades from here. And you can also look for pullback entry bullish. If you have in Golfer above 50 EMA, we are good to go long from here. Again, guys, take your trades on your own risk. If you think my analysis are wrong and not going with your analysis, listen to your analysis. Just my opinion, shouldn't be taken as any sort of trading advice. So these are very simple conditions you need to look at. Now on gold, we are trading below 50 EMA, means we are only looking for bearish trades. Now it is right at 50 EMA, that is why there is no conditions. Let's see how the market opens. If it opens above 50 EMA, I will look for my short-term pullback bullish trades. Till here, once the price get to this level, I will look for my double top in Golfer 382 candle to sell this market again. If the price stays below 50 EMA, I want to see a break below this low, then a pullback and bearish engulfing condition. If you're someone looking for entries on 1 hour time frame, look for the break below this low, pullback and bearish engulfer, and keep on taking shots. So we still haven't got any good momentum below 50 EMA to go short. That is why very important to see how the market opens. Once open above, we are looking to buy this market. If we are below 50 EMA, break below, pull back and keep on taking shots. And I'm going to mention the next level once I see a good momentum below 50 EMA. So that is all we are looking at here on gold. We are still long term. We are still bearish as we are below 50 and 20 EMA. Remember, we still have a room for the price to fall, but if the next candle forms in Golfer on daily, bullish engulfer, that will be my buy signal on a high time frame till here. So keep an eye on daily time frame as well, and look for your bullish engulfer on daily as well. On silver, we are just looking at the level below, which is 34.42 goes to 35.00. Before, I got lots of messages from the keyboard warriors. Yes, this trade didn't play out. That is a stop loss hit, and that was clearly mentioned. If the price pushes down, it will hit your stop loss, and in that case, we are just looking for pullback and bearish trades. So that is all we are looking at. That is why we have a stop loss there. I'm only looking for bearish pullback trades. Soon we are getting a bearish cross, and I'm only interested to sell this market till this green zone, from where we are looking to buy with double tops and aggressive entries. Example of aggressive entry I've already shown you at the start of this video. So that is all we are looking at, only bearish trades till this level. Finally, we have crude oil. Crude oil is still resisting above 50 and 20 EMA. Now we have a flag pattern that has been formed, a clear pattern that has been formed right here. All I'm looking is a breakout. Breakout above will be a bullish signal. One more condition I want to mention here. Breakout is already risky. These entries on crude oil is very risky. Now, for me, I will personally look for a nice pullback. If that happens above 50 EMA, since we have a new high, if the price forms in Golfer, I will simply gonna go long till here using 1 ATR for the target. So that is all I'm looking at for crude oil. Again, breakouts will be very risky. So simply look for pullback in Golfer. If you have a pullback all the way to 50 EMA, price forms bullish in Golfer, that is simply your buy signal. Overall, we are bullish as we are trading above 50 and 20 EMA. Keep an eye on next candle above 50 EMA. Expecting a pullback at least to 50 EMA, and not buying until we have a good engulfing condition above 50 EMA, or once we are broken above this high, only then I will be looking to buy crude oil long term. So that is it for today's long video. Hope you got a value, and I hope you have learned something out of that. If yes, hit the like button for me, subscribe if you're new, so that we can all trade together and trade efficiently. Hope you trade green. I see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care.